Okay. Kimberly, it's been just a really an honor to meet you, but I understand that you have traveled internationally and you have a whole lot more of yourself that I don't know about. And I was wondering if you could just tell me a little bit about what you've done in your travels and that kind of thing and your background.
Oh, wow. Where to begin? Where to begin? When my late husband was alive, I began doing international ministry in 2002. So it's 19 years that I've been doing international ministry. I've been going to East Africa for those 19 years. So that includes Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, South Sudan, Kenya. Did I miss any? The DR Congo. And I got, pardon?
Philippines.
And well, no, that's not East Africa. I'm just talking about
I see.
East Africa. So yes, and I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Nepal, I've done extensive ministry in the Netherlands, in Ireland, in Wales, in England, in Australia. My trip, though, I was supposed to do ministry in New Zealand and Fiji this past year, but because of COVID-19, that portion of my trip got shut down. And I almost got stuck in Australia. Had I waited one more day, I would still be stuck in Australia now. So I understand they've closed the borders until June of 21. Can you imagine if I was still stuck there? I wouldn't get to do this gathering.
We're excited that you made it out.
In those places, again, if you already saw the first portion of the interview, the mandate upon my ministry and my life is to bring liberty to leaders. And so in that, I've ministered to widows, I've ministered to orphans, I've ministered to bishops and their pastors, bringing prophetic direction. I also do a lot of prophetic direction for Christian businesses. And that's what I'm really internationally bringing that direction to the marketplace and Christian marketplace people is one of my passions as well. That might be something that's unusual. And in the midst of that, the other very unusual key to what I do is when there's been an example, like I was brought to Australia the first time through Mark Crawford. And I went down there to deal with, there's a string of 7 churches in South Australia. And they had experienced 22 suicides over the course of 2 years, which is a lot of suicides. And you'll get to learn more about this when you come on that Friday night for the gathering. I'll be sharing part of my testimony. I'm a survivor of suicide. My late husband committed suicide in March of 2012. And I'll tell more about that later. But this is an area that I have, it seems like I have I haven't looked for, but I've been labeled as an expert on surviving suicide, and people will come to me to speak about suicide. That's one of the areas for being beyond survival. And then the other is I just bring direction and clarity and commissioning to leaders and future leaders. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, that's excellent. Thank you so much.
And you've also done some work with Arthur Burke in the past, and so you've expanded your whole ministry out of that too.
That's true. That's true. I got invited to be a part of a brainstorming group that he had, and our specific task that we had was we were dealing with the spirit of narcissism that's been on this current generation. And the revelation that came out of that brainstorming and teaching was just absolutely phenomenal. A friend of mine did the actual transcriptions of Arthur Burke's 8 CD series on the redemptive gifts. And that's how all of my teaching came about, was through that transcription. We offered that to Arthur Burke so he could make a book out of it. And he says, no, I'm on to the next thing. If you feel called to this, run with it, Kimberly. So here I am. I'm asking other people to run with this as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's been powerful. I know in my own life, from Melvina. I met Melvina, and she introduced me to you, and I have literally seen so many changes. And I was just contacting you because I was concerned about a child dealing with suicide, and just the oppression that we deal with in Washington State alone is huge. So I know you're going to be bringing a lot of freedom with that, and I've experienced it in my own life. But I just want to encourage you, if you want to know more about who you are and your spiritual DNA, I really encourage you. Kimberly does have keys, and she is going to be unlocking things. And we're very excited to have you here. And I don't know, is there anything else you'd like to share, Kimberly?
Well, internationally, I think I'm not well known anymore nationally. There was a time when I was sort of well known on the East Coast. But now that I've relocated to California, because I've been in California for 19 years now, and God really wanted to move me out of being in the spotlight, because he really began speaking to me about the time of the Lone Ranger and the rock star is over. This is a season of teamship. And so I've been really focusing on building teamship and family wherever I go. And I have families in Uganda. I have families in Tanzania. I have family in England. I have family in Australia. I have family in all these different places that I've been to. And that's really what it's about. It's about building that relationship on such a level that you call each other family. So because of that, I don't go anywhere without the invitation of family. I do not. So because of you, Cindy, I feel like I was given the invitation of family to come. Oh, and I know I was forgetting one thing. So on the international scale, I've been on God TV. I have also been on Lighthouse International, which is a branch of TBN. I have been on, I'm trying to think, there's a couple of different TV stations in Europe that I've been on. I can't think of the names right now, but from what I understand, you can still see me from time to time because they run reruns of me speaking. And I'll get an email from someone, oh, I saw you on TV at 3 a.m. It's like, oh, wow. And I've also been on, I've also been on Voice of Toro, which broadcasts over 5 million people. I've been on Voice of Toro several times. And I've also been on Keijo Keji Radio, which broadcasts about 500,000 people.
Wow.
Wow.
We are so honored to have you
Yes.
come to the Northwest and to partner with us and become family with us as we expand our arms to your ministry and to you personally.
Air hugs, right?
Air hugs. Well, thank you so much for taking this extra time with us to share a little bit more on a personal note. And Cindy, thank you for your testimony as well. It's always really nice when you know somebody who's been experienced and has touched the lives of somebody else. So thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you, Melvina, for connecting us all.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Jesus, for connecting all of us in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. Connecting arms. Blessings.